Buenos dias. Good day to you. Are you ready to go to Costa Rica? Yeah, sitting here in this Pennsylvania 22-degree weather, even though it's March. Yeah, we all are. But not so fast. This is a college class. Remember that above all else. And it's a beautiful opportunity for you to go abroad, but also learn about a subject matter that is equal to a 300 level class that you would be taking across 15 weeks. So here we go. We're beginning today as I said I would, in a way with our feet running as we're hitting the ground. Let's look at our syllabus. It's on D2L. Please pause the video while you break it out. Now that you have it out, let's talk about what's going to be required for this class. We'll start at the top. This is media criticism. It's a 300 level class, which means that you have an advanced level of thinking and that you have study habits and also completion habits that are typical of a junior in a college or university setting. It also is a writing level course, so we will have a lot of writing in this class beginning today. I do have one objective as we go throughout the syllabus here, if you follow along. I do have one objective for this class, and that's for you to study a variety of critical perspectives. They're all coming through the book that we're going to be reading. A variety of critical perspectives to analyze and interpret how Costa Rican eco-messaging being the operative word there, potentially affects human thought, behavior, and feelings. You see my eyes looking up, it's because I'm looking at my notes on my screen here for the class today, going over the syllabus. So that's what we're doing. We're looking at the messaging that's coming out of Costa Rica. We're going to start to study it as we get towards the back end of this week and then dive right into it when we're in Costa Rica. We're going to look at that messaging, and particularly messaging that is crafted in the area of ecotourism, which we're going to be participating in as well. There is a book for this class. Hopefully you have it. I've given you plenty of fair warning. We're starting with it today. If you don't have it, you're not going to make it in this class, let me tell you. You've got to have it, and you've got to have it today. So if you're really in trouble, you don't have the book, you can probably go over to the bookstore and see if you can read some of it right there on the spot. But otherwise, let's get going with Critical Media Studies. That's the name of the book. Critical Media Studies. I selected the second edition, even though a third edition is out, to save you a little bit of money. It's by Brian Ott and Robert Mack. They are two authors. They wrote the book together. You will find some biases. I'm not expecting you to accept this book or really any book in the major as quote-unquote gospel. A book is merely an interpretation of reality, and you're going to be able to decide by the time you get to the end of this book whether it has captured a reality that you can agree with. D2L, moving on now in the syllabus. D2L is what we're going to use for our delivery system of content. We're going to be participating on D2L a lot this week. Basically, we're going to use D2L the most when we are not in Costa Rica. So that's every day this week, and then every day we come back after Costa Rica for that week after our spring break. Moving on now, there are several departmental outcomes for you in this course. I'm not going to repeat all of them. I'm not going to repeat any of them, really. You should be getting these in any course that you take at ESU in the communication department. We do have some course outcomes that I want to mention. There are 5 of them for this course. This should give you a good framework for what you're going to be doing in this class, what you're going to be understanding when you come out of this class at the back end. So the first one is to analyze and interpret different theoretical perspectives to criticize media. That's what this book offers, theoretical perspectives to criticize media. Secondly, to analyze and interpret how media production conventions of media form affect thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Conventions are the way that media content is produced. For example, the average newspaper in the US is going to start off with general news, then it may go to local news, and then sports. That's a form, that's a convention. Does it have to be that way? No. That's what we're going to learn. We're going to study conventions. Number 3, to analyze how media ownership affects thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Yeah, who owns the media? How powerful are they? Who does not get to own the media? We're going to be studying that. Fourthly, to analyze how audience uses of media affects their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, especially of social media and the way that we think and communicate. That is to say that the audience has a role and responsibility in the way that media is used, and that affects, again, their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And finally, to compare and contrast content across different media forms, to look at Costa Rican messaging. It exists in their flyers, in their billboards, in their social media, in their oral presentations to us while we're down there, in really virtually any medium, mass medium. How is Costa Rican media different across those media forms? Now let's get to the heart of this class, what's going to be required of you. So that's under the course requirements section. And the first item up is called a journal entry. This is something you're going to be keeping while you're in Costa Rica. I haven't rolled out the guidelines for this yet, but just bear in mind that starting with the day that we first start traveling, excuse me one moment. Need my water. So back to these journal entries. So for the journal entries, you're going to be keeping a journal every day that you're in Costa Rica. You're going to be inputting your journal entry onto D2L. So just plan for that. If you're going to use your phone while you're down there and that's it, that's fine. But you're going to need to be entering your journal entries every single day while we're in Costa Rica. And that's going to be worth 10 points to the class. Again, later I'll tell you what that involves. Next up, and an assignment you're going to be working on today, is an assignment called Chapter Summaries. In a partial online course like this, the only way that I know that you're doing the reading and learning from the readings is if you write about those readings, which fits in well with this class because it's a writing level course, media criticism. So this assignment, Chapter Summaries, is going to be worth 20 points, and this is all out of 100 points, by the way. So you got 10 points for the journal, 20 points for the chapter summaries, and you'll do 9 chapter summaries. I don't need you to do them while we're in Costa Rica. I'll be able to test your knowledge while we're down there when we talk. So what I just need for right now is the chapters that we're going to be working on this week. And then also the chapters when we come back from Costa Rica, you'll be doing chapter summaries for those as well. So the chapter summaries are what I'm requiring for those is already posted on D2L. You can find that under the discussions link under the communication tab. So communication, then discussions, and then you can see what's required for all of the chapter summaries. And you really need to write like a 300 level college student should be writing. You need to check your grammar very carefully. You need to proofread. Don't just throw stuff in there. Don't just thumb it on your phone and let autocorrect take over and not even be aware of what you're sending in. Don't send me sentences with small i's beginning those sentences. Write like a proper college level, junior level, 300 level, writing level student should be writing in this class in your chapter summaries. So you have a chapter summary for each of the 4 chapters that we're studying this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's it. Your chapter summaries are due at 1 p.m. the day after that they are assigned. So today you're getting your first chapter summary, chapter 1, and it's going to be due tomorrow, Tuesday, by 1 p.m. In other words, you have to have your post on D2L by 1 p.m. tomorrow. No excuses. Technology not working? Not an excuse. Can't get internet? Not an excuse. Has to be there by 1 p.m. tomorrow, your chapter summary. All right, and 400 words is the word count for that. 400 words. Do not go over. Do not go under. You have to hit that mark. That's part of this assignment, is to get you to contain your thoughts within a given word length that allows me to standardize my evaluation of all of those across the spectrum. So you have to hit that. What I say is I give you a 20-word window. You have to do it 390 to 410 words. That's for the chapter summaries. Compare those next with the discussion response posts, question response posts. Question response post is the next assignment, and that's also 20 points. And this is where I'm going to be posting a discussion question, and then you're going to need to answer it in, this time, 200 words. Not 400 words, 200 words. And again, the window there is going to be 190 to 210 words. And you must answer that discussion post as thoroughly as you can within that time frame and within that space frame. And again, you need to pay attention to grammar and proofreading. So those are your major assignments that are taking place this week. Discussion response post, 20 points overall. Chapter summaries, 20 points. Then when we get down there, we're going to be meeting. I don't exactly know when we're going to be meeting. I know it's going to be in the afternoons. Normally, I'm used to teaching in the mornings, and then we have our excursions. But this is a program designed in Costa Rica that's already pre-designed for us. So the lectures and the speakers are all taking place during the day. We're going to need to meet either late afternoon or early evening. I'll figure it out when we get down there, and we'll set a time. Once we're there, now that kicks in the other part of this class assignment, the other part of what is determining your grade, and that is class participation. Class participation worth a whopping 30 points. That's a lot of points. That's almost a third of the class. Now, what is class participation? It's not just talking. It's not just saying whatever you think. Of course, we want to hear what you think, and of course, we want you to talk. But class participation is participating robustly in the discussions, staying on focus on the discussions, and in particular, showing that you've done the readings by citing the readings. In other words, higher evaluation will be given to students who make comments who cite the readings, including the page number of the reading, bringing that author material into our discussion to help inform our discussion as we study various Costa Rican media while we're down there. Could be a flyer, could be a television commercial, and we're going to be using these perspectives that we're studying in the book. You're going to need to be participating robustly and bringing the author into the discussion. That's 30 points while we're down there. Then when we get back, we have a final paper. The final paper is not going to be due at the end of our week as soon as we get back. I'm going to let you get through all of those discussion posts that you still need to make and chapter summaries for the week after spring break. And then you're going to have 1 week to write your final paper. So that will actually be due towards the end of March, the last weekend of March on Friday. And we'll say more about that when we get to it. It's a 10 to 12 paper. Okay, I've got a lot of other stuff on here. My policy regarding how I grade in this class, what constitutes an A, B, C, D, E. You can check that out on the syllabus. I've got a statement here about accessibility for the class. If you are certified through the Office of OASIS, then I can accommodate your needs. I've got a statement in here about plagiarism. Plagiarism is basically stealing somebody else's work. It's like car theft, but in the academic setting. So that's not allowable. You got to use your own ideas, or you've got to cite the sources that you're getting your info from and not relying too heavily on those sources. Cell phone and email etiquette. We will be using our cell phones down there. A lot of you will be staying in touch and investigating things. But when class time is on, the cell phone should not be buried underneath your table while you're still supposedly not looking at it, but you are really looking at it, and you're texting home and you're FaceTiming. Well, I don't expect to be FaceTiming in class, although who knows today. But you know what I'm saying? Cell phone etiquette, put them away when we're discussing, unless they're part of what we're doing down there. Okay, I've laid out a tentative schedule of events. You can see it here. It's going to include also what we're doing excursion-wise. I just have to fill this in as we go along. I'm building the course from scratch, so to speak. So right now I just have our academic stuff in here, what we're going to be doing. This is a roadmap to help you keep track of your assignments. You can see your due dates of all the assignments. You can see today, for example, that your Chapter 1 summary is due by Tuesday at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and also that your question response 1 is due by 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then also you have to record a video. That's the final thing I'm going to mention here. A video that's 2 minutes long of yourself, introducing yourself. Everybody has to record that video. That has to be in by 1 p.m. tomorrow. How do you record that video? That's up to you. The easiest way I've found is to record it, upload it to YouTube. Remember to make it public on YouTube, otherwise we won't be able to see it. And then just post the link under the tab that I've placed on our D2L page, which is under the discussions link under the communication tab, so you can find your introduction videos. Everybody's going to be doing a 2-minute intro video, including myself. Going to get the class together, right? We're all over the university right now. We got to bring this together. So we're going to introduce ourselves. Then tomorrow we're going to respond to ourselves. But we're going to introduce ourselves according to some questions that I've placed on D2L for you to take a look at. So that's a 2-minute video. If you don't do it by YouTube, figure out how else to do it. Just make sure that video opens, okay? Don't post it and not test that it can open. Make sure that it opens. So that's going to wrap things up for our first communication about the class. It's the syllabus. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me or come by my office hours, which are posted outside my office. Marina Cameron, our secretary, keeps those office hours. I'm in this week. If you want to come by and see me, that's fine. If not, we're going to be meeting at the airport and taking class online in the meantime. Have a great day.